ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
When Lord gives answers for the question, he addresses Yudhishthira, it seems, because it is in Mahabharata. Pandava, the word Pandava occurs. Pandava refers to only Yudhishthira, the eldest of the five, and he is only interested in such what you call subjects, not others. Neither Bhima nor Arjuna nor Sahadevan nor Nakula will have interest in this subject. Therefore, Shrinu Pandava. Maybe it is also Parikshit. I don't know, but Parikshit, I think, was not interested. It is not Bhagavatam. This is Mahabharata. Shrinu Pandava. Oh, listen, please listen. Oh, Pandava, Pandu's son, in the progeny of Pandu. Tat sarvam archana kramam atmana. So you must know my worship. Atmana, self-worship. Archana kramam, the procedure, the order in which I must be worshipped. Tat sarvam, all that. Standile padmakam kritva. Now I'm going to tell you how I must be worshipped. Standile padmakam kritva. Standilam, I think it's a floor where paddy is strewn. STREWN. So standile padmakam kritva. So you draw a lotus figure. Is an altar, yeah, can be a homakunda also, yeah. So padmakam kritva, so draw a lotus figure, cha, and ashtapatram sakarnikam. It should have 8 petals. The lotus must have 8 petals. Sakarnikam must be, I think, it is with leaves also, no. Karna is ear, so sakarnikam must be with leaves or so. Ashtakshara vidhanena api athava dvadashaksharai. Karnika, stamens of the lotus. That's why I said the leaves. Stem, you mean stem? Stamen is stem. No, the very center. Okay. The center will have normally pollen powder, pollen dust. In the middle, it will be what you call protruding yellow-colored hard substance in the middle of the lotus. Pollen on sticks. The pollen will pollen will be on the surface of a central substance among the petals. 6 called English terms. Okay, we say filaments. Right. So Ashtakshara Vidhanena, either you say the 8-syllable spell, Ashtakshara Vidhanena, Athava api also you can add or there is an option. There is an option. Dwadasha Aksharehi, 12-syllable mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is 14. So Vaidikaihi Athava Mantraihi Mama Suktena Vapuna. 1 syllable on each filament. Okay. So Vaidikaihi, it must be done by people who know scriptures and scriptural process of the Pancaratra. And Mantraihi, again Vaidikaihi Mantraihi should be done with the scriptural spells. So it should not be done by anything else. Or Mama Suktenava Purusha Suktam. The Purusha Suktam must be used. Punaha but. Punaha again. But Stapitam established. Stapitam is established. Mom, me. Stapitam mom meaning already you have put me there, fixed me there. Tataha then tasmin archayitva vichakshana. Vichakshana, an expert. We saw the word already. So tataha then tasmin archayitva. So worship that figure. That is me. Or that is I. Purusham tu tatas satyam achyutam cha yudhishthira. I told you, Pandava is Yudhishthira. And therefore Yudhishthira is again called so that he is attentive. Generally, in all conversations, dialogues, the people who are addressed will be named again and again so that they don't get sleep, just as a class. So Purusham to Purusham, that is Purushottamam, namely the only one man, the one-man show. So Tataha then Satyam, he is the truth. Truth is God. Achyutam, one who does not leave us in the lurch, one who does not drop us down in a calamity. So Achyutam cha Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira, Satya, Achyuta and Purusha are names of Lord. Again, you can say Sahasranam. So Yudhishthira, he is firm in war, but he must be instructed how to worship in Pancaratra. So Aniruddham Mam. So again, another incarnation called Aniruddha. Again, I think it is son of Vishnu, or I think Pradyumna is the grandson of Vishnu. Sankarshana is Vishnu himself. The 4 Vyuha forms, and Aniruddha is one of them. Now let us take the literal meaning, one who cannot be stopped at any time and by anybody. Yudhishthira worships Satya, Achyuta Purusha, and Aniruddha. Okay. Yudhishthira's favorite deities. So Aniruddham Chamam, Aniruddham is another form of Lord Vishnu in Vyuha form. Then Prahuhu, Mam Prahuhu, they said about me, Vaikhanasavido Janaha. So the previous sentence ends with, these are the opinions of Vaikhanasa people. So Janaha people, Vaikhanasavidaha, when they know Vaikhanasa tradition, so they say, Purusham Tataha Satyam Achyutam, then Aniruddham, are worshipped by. Again, please remember, all these are said by, namely, the lotus, the Standile Padmakam Kritva, then Ashtapatram, 8 petals, Sakarnikam with the filaments, and either by Dwadasakshara, 12-syllable spell, or Ashtakshara, 8-syllable spell. I must have been established, I must have been consecrated, rather I must have been anointed, rather we say Samprokshanam or Abhishekaha. So whatever it is, so then these 4 must be worshipped according to Vaikhanasa people. So in this order, Purusham, Satyam, Achyutam, and Aniruddha. Anye tu evam vijananti mam rajan pancharatrikaha. So Pancharatrikaha, those who follow Pancharatra tradition, hey Rajan, O Yudhishthira, O king, O ruler of the kingdom, so mam vijananti, they know me perfectly. Vijananti, jananti no, vijananti know me deeply. Tu evam this way, anye tu, others too. You can use the word tu as two here, T-O-O, because it means but, and it has no meaning sometimes because it is only to fill up the 8 syllables in a quarter in a verse. So, anye tu evam, others, anye pancharatrikaha, other pancharatra traditional people will know this, already know this, that don't know well me, that this is a procedure of worship, namely writing a figure of lotus with 8 petals and filaments, and using the 8 syllable spell and 14 syllable, 12 syllable spell, and then worshipping Purusham, Achyutam, then Aniruddham and Satyam. Sorry, Purusham, Satyam, Achyutam. Because everyone is saying. Satyasya Satyam we say in Bhagavatam about Lord Shivan Narayana. He is Satyasya Satyam. I think it is Prahlada Stuti by Stuti by Prahlada on Lord Narasimha. Satyasya Satyam. Because it is said in Bhagavatam, Satyam Vidhatum Nijabhritya Bhashitam. In order to cater to rather fulfill the promise of the young boy, Prahlada, who is his own servant, Nija Bhritya Bhashitam. Nija O-W-N, Bhritya servant, Bhashitam spoken, Satyam Vidhatum, in order to say. Hiranyakashipu also is a devotee. He is also a devotee. He is only simply the doorkeeper in Sri Vaikuntha. And therefore, he was asking, Hiranyakashipu was asking his son Prahlada, where is your Narayana? Is Narayana in this pillar? There were so many pillars in his palace, in that hall. And Narasimha was so much in tension that he filled up all the pillars. Even now we say, Sarvasthunam Narasimha Garbham. All pillars contain Narasimha, even today. Of course, the Narasimha Avatara was only for a few hours, if not few minutes. Na bhuto na bhavishyati, the Vedic sentence which tells us the greatness of the actually Avirbhava, though called Avatara for our understanding. It is only Avirbhava for a few hours. So Vasudevancha Rajendra Sankarshanam Athapiva Pradyumnancha Aniruddhancha Chaturmurtim Prachakshate. Then we have 4 names of the Lord. So Prachakshate meaning they say, people, the Pancharatrika say. Chaturmurtim, next we will say worship Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. Right, the Vyuha forms. Hey Rajendra, O King of Kings. Rajendra is just like Dasharatha, Yudhishthira Chakravarti. Because he was able to perform Rajasuya Yaga with the help of Lord Krishna and therefore complete it successfully. And therefore he is called Rajendra, King of Kings. Monarch, Emperor. So, O Emperor, Vasudevam Sankarshanam, Atha Apiva Pradyumnam cha Niruddham cha Chaturmurtim Prachakshate. So these 4 figures, Vyuha forms must be worshipped according to the names. Vasudeva, Rajendra, Sankarshana, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, and Pradyumna and Aniruddha. 4 murtis, Chaturmurtim, Prachakshate said. Etaha, these, Anyaha cha, and others also. That means not only this, what we saw is Purusham, Satyam, Achyutam, and Aniruddham. Again, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Apart from this, there are many deities with different names. I mean, same figure of Lord Srimanarayana. So, etaha anyaha cha Rajendra, samya bhedena murtayaha. They are only different by names. The figures are same. Murtayaha. Figures are in the same means the name corresponds to, all names correspond to only one. They merge in only one. So, vidhi anarthantaraha eva mamevam cha archayet buddhaha. Buddhaha, a scholar, archayet will worship, might worship, or he has to worship, may he worship. Mamevam, me, as in this way, vidhi anarthantaraha eva. Vidhi, sorry, not vidhi, sorry, vidhi, please know, please understand, vidhi, anarthantaraha eva. Now, if you follow some other procedure, etaha anyaha cha, these other extra traditions, then that will land us in trouble. Anarthantara, anartha is trouble. So it will take to our doom. So ityadibihi Vaishnava Shastra Bhedatvena Sama Paripatitayoho Veda Aviruddhayoho Bhagavate Yamunamuni Vasudeva Swami Prabhatibihi Stapita Pramanyayoho Avishesha Vaishnava Samaya Parigrahayoho Srimad Pancaratra Vaikhanasa Shastrayoho Dvayoho Api Apramanya Prasangat. So we now understand the differences between, of course, initial, only initial, not very deep. So initial differences between two Vaishnava Shastras. Both are Vaishnava Shastras. Both are Sri Vaishnava Shastras, namely Pancaratra and Vaikhanasa. So when we understand a little difference between Pancaratra and Vaikhanasa, though it is Sama Paripatitayoho, they are read at the same time. They have the text almost similar. Sama Paripatitayoho, Sama equally, textually equal. So Veda Aviruddhayoho, when they are not different from scriptures, they must not be deviating away from scriptures. Otherwise, there will be trouble. So Veda Aviruddhayoho, Bhagavate Yamunamuni Vasudeva Swami Prabhati. There are two people mentioned here. I think the other one, Vasudeva, must be only from Pancaratra tradition. So Yamunamuni is known for his many works, Siddhitrayam, then Agama Pramanyam, then Stotra Ratnam, and so and Bhagavad Gita Sangraha, and so many works of Yamunamuni. So Yamunacharya is called Alavandar in Tamil. So Bhagavad Yamunamuni, Vasudeva Swami Prabhatibi. There must be another scholar called Vasu Siddhitra. I told you the first work as Siddhitra. So Vasudeva Swami Prabhatibi. So people like Yamunacharya and Vasudeva, Stapita Pramanyayoho, they have already established the authorities, proofs, Proofs. So Stapita Pramanyayoho, so well established proofs, Avishesha Vaishnava Samaya Parigrahayoho. So we will take up both the traditions as though one. So Avishesha without difference. Vishesha difference, Avishesha without difference. Vaishnava Samaya Parigrahayoho. Samayaha religion. Samayaha in ordinary term means time. Samayaha in another context it means contract. So Samayaha here it means religion. What you call the opinion. Matam we say in Sanskrit. Matam means opinion. So Vaishnava Matam. So Vaishnava Mata Samaya means Parigrahayoho. When we are accepting both Vaikhanasa and Pancaratra as Sri Vaishnava Samaya, the Sri Vaishnava religion, then Srimad Pancharatra Vaikhanasa Shastrayoho, between the Pancharatra and Vaikhanasa, Dvayoho, between the two, api apramanya prasangat. Suppose we accept these two as though singly as Sri Vaishnava Samaya, when we don't know the difference, then they will become unauthoritative. That's a problem. Dvayoho api apramanya prasangat. A situation will arise that if we both consider that both are one and the same, Pancharatra and Vaikhanasa, then there will be heavy trouble. Because they are not the authoritative sources. So, Athay Etani, then Etani. Now, this paragraph's title is this in bold letters, Paraspara Ninda Vachanani Swashastra Prasamsa Parani. There are two aspects in this paragraph, namely, normally one tradition always praises its own tradition. You can say authors of one tradition will always adore their own tradition. And again, they will also accuse the other tradition. They will also find fault with the other tradition. Pancharatra will pick hole with Vaikhanasa. Vaikhanasa will find errors in Pancharatra. So, Paraspara Ninda Vachanan, mutually scolding words. How can it be mutual? Yes, with some agreement also, with some common aspects. Paraspara mutually, not stoutly opposed with each other. It's not a vehement opposition, but a light opposition. So, Paraspara mutually, Ninda, censure, Vachanani, the words which will scold the other tradition, plus Swashastra Prasamsa Parani. When one tradition is scolded by another tradition, that means the previous tradition holds good and it is better than the other tradition. Therefore, scolding words should be taken as swaprasamsa, that is one's own appreciation. Now, so Paraspara Apakarsha Vachanani. So this is given in some other terms, that's all. Paraspara Ninda Vachanani will be synonymous with Paraspara Apakarshana Vachanani. Apakarsha Vachanani. Apakarsha Vachanani, Apakarsha meaning, literally meaning pulling one out. Apakarsha is pulling one away, meaning finding fault with. When they mutually find fault with each other, then Asankirna, Bahukosha, Patha, Avalokana, Avalokanat, Apta Bhashitani iti Manye Mahi. Swami Desika is very particular in saying, very, very succinct in his account. Succinct. How? When there is a mix-up, so what should the scholars do? The scholars must go deep into the dictionary, encyclopedia, Bahukosha Patha. They must consult many dictionaries, Bahukosha, Kosha lexicon. So Bahukosha Patha, they must know the meaning of each word in different Monier William dictionary, Vamanaram Shiva Apte dictionary. So many dictionaries are there. There is what we call a very big 5-volume dictionary called Shabda Kalpadrumaha. Shabda Kalpadrumaha. When Anantara Sumacharya, our preceptor, asked me, I got it for him. I bought it for him. 5 volumes of Shabda Kalpadrumaha. For 13 vowels, there is a volume. For 13 vowels, there is a volume. From A to Au. Then you have the other four are at least 2 rows, ka, ka, ga, 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 cha, 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 1 volume, and so on. So this Sabdakalpadruma must be taken up for study by scholars. Then otherwise, the scholar's opinion will not be respected. In positive terms, when the scholars have consulted all the lexicons, encyclopedia, dictionaries, we call it in Tamil Aharadi. It's actually Akaradi becomes Aharadi. Akaradi from A to Z. So Bahukosha Patha Avalokanat, by looking at, by deeply observing the dictionary meanings of the words in the procedures of Pancaratra and Vaikhanasa, Apta Bhashitani. Then we can say surely with confidence that they are good people's words. Apta Bhashitani. Apta Vakyam is what we call the fourth pramana in our tradition. First tradition is first pramana, meaning pratyaksha pramanam. When you see it directly by your vision of eyes, or the naked eyes, then you can say it is true. The second one, uha. So uha is guessing. That will be, of course, what we call not pratyaksha direct, but paroksha. Called the paroksha. You don't have eyes to see the proof. Meaning, in the sense, there is no proof available for our eyes. Then uha pramanam, guessing. Pratyaksha pramanam, then uha pramanam. Then third is shabda pramanam, by scriptural words. Then more than this, above this shabda pramanam of scriptural proofs, we have apta pramanam. Apta vakyam, we say. Good people's, that is what we call orthodox, pious people's meaning. Shishtachara, yes. T capital. Okay. This is general spelling. Okay. So, Apta Bhashitani iti, thus, Manyemahi, we understand, we think, we surmise, we guess, we hope, we feel. So this is what was Manyemahi. We think that all these words in Pancharatra and Vaikhanasa, when they give the common aspects and they give the differences between them, that means they have consulted all the dictionaries, many dictionaries. Not all dictionaries, many dictionaries. So, tathapi, even then, though we can believe them, though we can confide in them, though we can have faith in them, then tathapi, prataha anrutam te vadanti, purodayat juhvati yaha, ye agnihotram. Ityadishu, udita homa prasamsa artha anudita homa nindavat prakranta shastra prashastya pratipadana paratvena netavya. Nahi ninda nindyam ninditum pravartate apitu nindyati tarat prasamsitum iti nyayavida. So look at the beautiful angle of how to confide in the good people called aptas, friends. Apta meaning close friend, one who can be believed at any cost. So prataha tathapi again. Prataha in the morning, prataha every morning. Anrutam te vadanti. They tell lies. Who are the people who tell lies? Ye agnihotram juhvati. So people who agnihotram juhvati. They are performing fire rituals. Nitya Agnihotri is called Nitya Agnihotri. Every day The fire ritual is performed both in the morning and the evening. Other Aupasanam, we call it for married people. For Brahmachari, it is called, bachelor is called Samidhadhanam. 2 times a day. And if it is Agnihotram, it involves longer procedure, cumbersome process. There must be always with the fire in the house. The fire cannot be put out. It will be always alive. There will be embers, EMBER, will be there, always shining. So it's called Agnihotri, in the house of Agnihotri. So Juhvati, when he offers oblations, when the people offer oblations in the fire, then Purodayat, from the beginning of the morning, from the time fixed by the scriptures, according to the rules of scriptures, they start the morning process, early morning, just after, I think, Suryodaya. There are some night fire rituals also, midnight fire rituals also. For example, a sannyasi, a mendicant, a recluse, a monk should perform and keep awake when a grihastha is becoming a sannyasi. A householder becomes a sannyasi, then he must perform a sacrifice throughout the night. He must not sleep. Viraja Homa. It's called another one. Another term is there. It's called. It started with Upa. Upa. The first 2 letters are Upa. I'll tell you. So here, so the sannyasi must keep awake. Others will advise. There are good preceptors who will advise the sannyasi. I mean, he is becoming a sannyasi. Householder becomes a sannyasi. His wife and children should not visit him later. On that day, they are not to be seen. Of course, wife's permission is necessary to become a sannyasi, and so on. So here, what do they do? From the morning till night, they are always telling lies. They are total liars. And therefore, what should we do? So, why in the sense, not out of not only out of compulsion, not out of voluntary willingness. Please remember that. Don't mistake it as not 24/7 liars. No, so the lie is in tune with the performance of the fire ritual perfectly. In order that if one who does mistake will be scolded, what we call apparently, that's what we call it lie. A censure will be done to a co-worker because it's only apparent censure, not real. Therefore, we call it a lie. In poetry, in Sanskrit poetry, the embellishment is called alankara, whereas is a figure of speech. There lies a lie. If a lie is there, and the lie is being supported by a proof, and the proof is also a lie. I mean, the proof is naturally right. The proof is natural and it is right also. It is not wrong. But the lie is held by the proof. The proof is a truth. Whereas I can tell you one example if you want at the end of the session. So here, so what happens is, starting with Udita Homa Prashamsartha, they want to appreciate their own fire ritual. So in between, what happens? Anudita Homa Nindavat. There will be a censure of either of the tradition, Pancaratra and Vaikhanasa, when each one of them is performing the fire ritual. How? They will now, once they use the Pancaratra tradition, a particular individual uses the Pancaratra tradition, in the middle of the Homa ritual, fire ritual, he will point out the mistakes in Vaikhanasa and say, Vaikhanasa people will make a mistake here, will do this way. But we are Pancharatra people and therefore we will do correctly. So this is how they will always find fault with the others. Then and there, the procedure will be changed in the true traditions, and therefore they will point out. So when they point out, it seems an accusation. It's a blame. It's a blame on the other tradition. And it is a lie. How is it a lie? No, it is only to enhance the value of one's own tradition rather than their aim is not finding fault with Vaikhanasa. In order to establish Pancharatra tradition in a firm footing, they scold Vaikhanasa people. So the underlying aim is to praise oneself, to say, for example, Vaikhanasa people will say their tradition is the best tradition. So in order to say, prove that their tradition, own tradition is the best tradition, they will say Pancharatra has got these lacunae, these deficiencies. They are not doing this, where we are doing this. And they are doing this opposite to what we are doing here, and so on. So they will point out specific instances. So what will happen? Prakranta Shastra. What happens is Anudita Homa Nindavat, like the scolding of unsaid process of fire ritual, Prakranta Shastra Prashasya Pratipadana Paratvena Netavyani. Netavyani, they must be understood. Here, Netavyani, simple meaning will be they must be led to, LED, they must be led to, but here it is to be understood. So, Netavyani is asked to understand, so they must be understood like what? Prakranta Shastra Prasasya Pratipadana Paratve. We must feel that it is not a futile exercise of scolding others, finding fault with other tradition, but confirming by explanation that the Shastra, the science in which their tradition lies, LIES, then it's called, it's better than the other one. Prashastyam is praise, adoration. And then Prakranta meaning already with the Shastra has been practiced. Prakranta practiced Shastra. So don't think that it is a real censure, real scolding. So nahi ninda, nindyam. The scold is not scold. The censure is not censure. Ninditum pravartate. No, actually there is no fault in Pancharatra, there is no fault in Vaikhanasa. It is not blamable. Nindyam is blamable. Non-Indiam is not blamable. We cannot accuse. But why? Non-Indiam pravartate. The aim is not to pick holes, but apitu, but api even, or api even also. Nindyadi itarat, nindyat itarat, prasamsitum iti nyaya vidaha. People who know logic, nyaya is logicians, nyaya vidaha logicians. It's a Shastra by itself. Nyaya Shastra, as you know, out of the 6 darshanas, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, and Sankhya and Yoga. These are the 6 darshanas. So out of the 6 darshanas, Nyaya people, logicians, they say this Ninda, the censure, is not for censure. It is to praise, adore one's own tradition. Nindya, Nindyatu, Itarat. Itarat is the other one. So when I support my own tradition, I have to find fault with the other tradition. When I find fault with other tradition, my aim is not to despise them. It is not to belittle them. It is not to bring them down in popularity. We don't say that they all contain mistakes. Whole Pancaratra or Vaikhanasa contains only mistakes. No. It is only to say that there are plus points in Pancaratra and or Vaikhanasa. Evameva tu, evameva. Sangeshu Vedeshu Nishtam Alabhamanaha Chandilyah Pancaratra Shastram Adhitavan Ityado Vedaninda Prasangena Veda Virodham Ashankya Swashastra Prasamjadiparatena Parihari Bhashyakarihi. So by explaining only this sentence, we will go to the next session tomorrow. So Evameva, in this way, Sangeshu Vedeshu, looking at the 6 limbs along with the scriptures. So Nishtam Alabhamanaha. There are people who cannot concentrate on scriptures and their 6 limbs. They can't do it. They can't concentrate. Nishtam Alabhamana. They didn't get it. They didn't get deep into the scriptures and the limbs. They didn't get involved seriously in scriptures and their 6 limbs. Who is that? Shandilyaha. One of the examples is Shandilyaha. Though he is a great sage, he was not for going deep into the subject. He was what you call, he has a facial knowledge. தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவாங்க அதை நுனிப்புல் மேய்தல். Generally, buffaloes, they don't eat the grass fully, whereas when there is a snowfall, rather we say frost or hue, then you have, we say in the December, January months, the buffaloes graze the field by taking only the fresh tip of the grass. They don't go deeper. It's called Panippul Meidal. Kanaithalang Kattarame Kandrikkirangi Ninithu Malavaliye Nindrupal Sora. That is the Tirupavai Pashuram, the song of Sri Prabandham of Sri Goda Devi Andal in Varaha Avatara. There was the seed was sown for her incarnation, and she said it like this. Kanaithalang Kattarame Kandrikkirangi Ninithu Malavaliye Nindrupal Sora. நனைத்தில்லம் சேராக்கும் நச்செல்வன் பங்காய் பனித்தலை வீழ நின்வாசற் கடைப்பற்றி. பனித்தலை வீழ. Pani is snow. So they are interested in fresh grass. They are interested in cool grass. And they go in the early morning to graze the field. So Shandilyaha is such a person. And Pancaratra Shastram Adhitavan. He studied completely Pancaratra Shastram, but he was not deep in scriptures. How do we understand him? So he was not interested in reading it. That's all. He had no aptitude for the 6 limbs of scriptures, learning scriptures deeply. So Veda Ninda Prasangena, in certain occasions, he scolds the scriptures. In those contexts, Prasangena, Prasanga is context, Sandarbha we say. In certain situations, when he scolds the scriptures, Veda Ninda. That means he must be a Buddha or Jaina. He belongs to Buddha religion and Jaina religion when they don't accept the scriptures as authority. Veda Virodham Ashankya. He thought that Pancaratra tradition will be different from scriptures. So Veda Virodham, enmity between Pancaratra tradition and Veda tradition. Ashankya, doubting. Swashastra Prashandadiparattvena Parihari Bhashyakara. So Swashastra Prashandadi. That's what we are saying in the previous paragraph also, namely, the finding fault with the scriptures is not the aim, but one's own praise, one's own tradition's praise is important. Pariyahari Bhashyakari. Bhashyakara, commentator. I think it must be Ramanujacharya. When we say Bhashyakara, it's only Ramanujacharya. And of course, other commentators are there. But we are now talking about Shandilya Vidya. Shandilya Vidya, one of the 32 branches of knowledge mentioned in Sri Bhashya. Or rather, Vyasas, Veda Vyasas, Brahma Sutras, numbering 542. When Brahma Sutras of the spiritual aphorisms have been commented upon by Sri Ramanujacharya in the form of a book called Sri Bhashyam of the aphorisms of Veda Vyasa, Krishna Dvaipayana. Then now it has been rather rectified, Pariyahari. Parihara done. Parihara is rectified as so let us not blame Shandilya that he has very superficial knowledge of scriptures and their limbs, but when he scolds the scriptures, when he finds fault with the scriptures, the Bhashyakara says, try to understand that it's only as praise of the own tradition. Again, Bhashyakaraihi, it can be taken as plural, it can be taken as respectful plural. So Bhashyakaraha meaning a single person, Ramanujacharya, or many commentators. For example, Adi Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, latest being one Dayananda Swami from north. He is not the Dayananda Swami who came away from Chinmayananda. There was another Swami who wrote. I have heard about him. I have heard about his commentary on scriptures, and they are different also. They are different from all the three, namely Shankara Bhashyam, Sri Bhashyam, and Madhva Bhashyam. And there is one more, Dayananda Saraswati, same name in north. And his commentary is also very beautiful. We have to enjoy the differences also and plus the similarities also. Bhashyakari.
Ramanujadaya Patram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimadvenkatanathāryam Vande Vedanta Deshikam
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய.